All right, Nick, we're going to start here with your first film, your first swing. Your setup looks fine. Look very comfortable in the box. Your weight's well distributed on both your right and left side, or your front and back side if you prefer. And we're just going to let this roll up here a little bit, and we'll take a look. So here comes where you just start to looking to try to hit something up the middle. So here's that little move you make with your front foot. I just want to make note of that. All right, so you don't have a very big stride here. You're just kind of coming up, and we're going to bring it up one frame at a time. You just kind of rock back a little bit on your back side. And again, similar to a couple of the other players that came next, you had a situation where you've loaded yourself to the back side here. So I'm just going to make a point of showing with a couple lines here what this backside load and the movement forward looks like. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to just put a line here as you've started to set yourself on the backside right here. This is a lot of weight on the backside. Your arm and your hand, your arm position, your hand look very good. You don't want to let that bat wrap around too far, but that's not looking too bad. So I'm just going to bring this forward just a little bit, and you can see that little foot, that little move you make with your front foot right there. You pull it back to the front side, and you reach heel drop. Now, heel drop right here. When this heel drops, okay, and that heel drops right there, this back heel is taking a little bit of time to get up, right? It's coming up. You can see it. If you watch it right here, you watch it right here in this box, you'll see it start to come up. Right? Each frame it comes up, and your back knee is coming in. Now, you've allowed yourself to get in a position where you kind of have this bat sitting on in this kind of position right here, which is a little bit awkward. All right, so you've kind of wrapped the bat around the back of your head a little bit. But other than that, I think if your hands were back and the bat were in a little more comfortable position, say something like that, right? I think you'd be in a pretty good spot. So the bat comes around, and I think by putting it up on top of your shoulder like that, okay, you've allowed yourself to get into a position where it's hard to let the barrel drop. So as this front elbow right here comes up, Nick, right, and this one comes down to get your hands, to allow your hands to flatten out, you want to that's supposed to allow the barrel to drop down like this. Okay, it's supposed to allow the barrel to drop. But because you have the bat sitting up on top of your shoulder by your neck, your body is physically not letting the bat come down very quickly. So you're going to push it from right there, right, and you're going to let it slide off as it starts to come out, and then you get to this position. Now, this position right here is, other than, even with the bat up where it was, is not bad. This is a pretty good position right here. You've allowed your hands to get out through the zone, and here your elbow is starting to extend away from your body, which is good. You're pushing the bat or driving the barrel of the bat out into the strike zone. Your bottom half looks good. Your knee is firmed up in the front. Your back heel is not over rotated. So this is good. So you push out to the power V and then finish. So nice. That was really very, very good. So what we want to do now is take the couple of things we saw there, which is pretty heavy back load instead of moving the front side and kind of leaving that bat up on top of your shoulder like that. We can take a couple of things here and start to work from there. So I'm going to put your next swing up next to you, and we'll take a look what that looks like. All right, so Nick, in this second video here, and I'm going to bring your other video back to the start, okay? And try to pull them up so they're kind of the same. All right. So here we are in that loaded position. You've loaded up your weight on the back side a little bit, and your hands, in this particular case, are about where they were. You didn't let the bat get up on top of your shoulder too much there, but let's run it forward and see what we get. So we're going to come forward. The bat comes down, but in this case, never really sets down on top of your shoulder like it did in this one. If I pull you up side by side here. So it never really got to that position where you can see it's kind of, that's the wrong line. We don't want to do that one. Let's put up the correct line. It never really got loaded up on your back like that. Okay. Now, I should note as well that here, um, you kind of turn in one spot. You don't make any big weight transfer to the front side. So if I take that line off and I put a line right down through the middle of your body, like this, I want you to look at how much weight transfer you make to go past that line. Okay? So really not too much. You just turn on that one spot and drive out through. Okay? So what that means is you want your body to release that power you've loaded up and get forward at impact. You want to be driving through the ball at impact and tightening up that front knee. All right. So if I go over here and I clear this line off and I bring you back a little bit to where you were here. And again, I'll do it on both sides so you can see what I mean. So here's kind of where you are, and that's kind of where you stay the whole time. You really never go. You rock back a little bit, about that far. So you get maybe about right there. So if we assume this is here on this one, and we allow that to come forward, and we'll see where we end up here. So similar, you're not making a huge move forward, and I think that as you come through here, you get good push. You're just leaning back a little bit in this particular photo. So in this spot, you're not staying completely vertically stacked. You're letting your head move back a little too far. So if that's my line of right, I want my head to be right on that line as well. Okay, so that I don't get this, and I'm going to do the best I can with a curved line here. I don't get this little bend back here like this, right? Okay, and that doesn't leave my elbow tagged in against my side too far. So you definitely want a little more of what you had here in terms of moving forward to that vertical stack position. See how you're a little more straight up and down as opposed to curved back, right here. That's all. So if I were to take these two and compare and contrast, because you have a pretty good looking swing anyway, and you're good and you're aggressive to the ball, I would say that the argument to be made here would be to make sure that you take the best of both, right? So we don't always find a lot of problems with people's swings. Sometimes we have to accept what we have is good. Right here, you're getting jammed in with your back elbow against your body through impact. All right, and over here, and you have a very stiff back leg. Right here, you're pushing really hard off that back side to make that swing happen, and it kind of makes you push up and out a little bit right there, right? And over here, you can see you have a much more relaxed back leg, okay, much more relaxed, and your body gets vertically stacked better. All right, so you're here as you drive through, right there, you're in a real good position here, and you're going to push that elbow out away from your body to get impact through the ball. See how great that power V looks? That power V is well out in front of your body, whereas over here, not so much. It gets jammed in a little bit. So you got a little bit jammed through this ball. Right. Let me just back it up a little bit here. Right here. You have plenty of time to hit that ball, but you kind of let your weight hang back a little bit, and it's just got you a little bit jammed. And your power V doesn't get up and out nearly as well as it does in this one because of that laying back. So try to stay focused on the good stuff in each of these swings. In this particular case, your good point over here is that you are really vertically stacked and driving through the ball with a relaxed backside. Over here, you do a better job with your hands and bat placement. So if I looked at my bat placement over here, I don't let it get wrapped up too much around my neck. As I bring this forward, you can see I don't let the bat wrap backwards too far. Okay, I get in a pretty good position to hit here. All right, front shoulder could be down a little more. All right, and over here, the downside would be I let it get a little bit close to my neck, right there, right. So I know you're trying to stay tight through the ball. So just try to stay a little more vertically stacked would be my recommendation by getting that one drill where you get up off the back side and stride to the front side and get your back heel up. All right. So stride to the back side, get your back heel up, and keep your hands back. That way you don't run into knees and hands too close together. You want these hands back about right here. Okay. And that'll get the bat off of your neck. All right. And in here, same thing, except don't lay back. So if that makes, so in this particular case, you're going to want that, you're going to want those hands to stay back right there, but get your body a little more forward, up more on a vertical line up in here. Don't lay back with your upper body. Get up to that line all the way up to it, and drop that shoulder a little bit flatter. All right, and you'll be in pretty good shape. Now, let's. This was a tough one because we had to compare and contrast goods and bads from each side. But let's take this and look at how it would look compared to a professional hitter. Okay, so I'm gonna move this over here, and your front swing you already know looks very good. Your first swing here, not front, except for the hand position in the bat. Over in this one, you got back a little too far, and it kind of hurt you in the swing. So let's compare. We'll do a quick comparison of both, and we'll see how they compare against another hitter. So we'll hang on here just a minute. I'll put up another hitter, and hold on just one moment. Let me pull him up. All right, next. So right here, I put A-Rod up here so you can see that he looks very similar to you in the vertical stacking. So he comes forward. So here he is in his position. I want you to pay very attention to his hands. So here he is in that stacked position with his hands in a good hitting position. He doesn't wrap the bat at all, and his hands and his eyes are focused straight out. Now watch what happens when he gets to here. Okay, he's still forward and stacked, and he doesn't allow his hands to get tied up around his back. Does his hands stay behind the line there? So even in this new position with his heel coming up, so here's the new position. His hands are still behind it, and I would note that they are behind his knee. Okay, if I were to take the same process over here, so let me put, here's his hands, we'll bring forward a little bit. Here's his knee. Good separation, right? Over here, hands and knees almost together. So if you could get your hands back a little more like A-Rod here, back into a position about right here, and still have that knee up in this position, you're going to get good separation. You're going to have more power. Okay? So get that separation. Get those hands away a little bit. All right? Everything else on the bottom half looks fine. The knees driving toward the pitcher, no problem. Just like this. Just like A-Rod is. Starting to drive in toward the pitcher. Just like this. Okay? That looks very, very good. And I just note, without bringing up the other photo, that it's very important to note that when he makes his swing, when he gets to that position to hit, and I'm going to bring him right to here, okay, notice his back and his back leg very straight. In the other photo, and I'm just going to pull it up here real quickly for comparison, on your side, you got jammed in a little bit, okay, and it caused you to have that little bit of a push from the backside, which caused that, as I had said earlier, that little bit of a curve to your process, right? So you kind of let everything hang back. You didn't get it up and flat and stacked on top of that backside like A-Rod did here. So try to make that improvement. Stay going to the one side, to the front side, get that up back so that you can keep a very nice relaxed back leg like this, okay? And that'll keep you moving. And then just keep your hands loaded in that back position as we discussed, and don't let them get up there as you make your turn to the ball. As that back heel comes up and you start to turn, don't let your hands come sliding forward. Keep them back and build that tension up before you let it explode. All right. Other than that, Nick did a great job. Some nice corrections. You took the best of everything we taught and definitely put it in there. So just continue that work. Work on getting to the one side consistently. with your back heel up and your front heel down, and stay vertically stacked and drive that top hand. And I don't think you're gonna have any problems. If you have any questions, give us a call at. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I messed up your film there. There we go. Just contact us if you need to at info@thehittingconnection.com, or talk directly to Coach Jimmy B. I'm sure he'll make sure that you're doing everything correctly. Good luck moving forward, Nick, and contact us if you need to.